One thing for me, I hope you're ashamed of yourself. You should be. It's 70 degrees out. You have bunny hoops on.
Hey everyone, I'm sick right now. I got a really bad head cold a couple of days ago. Talked about just the usual harm of when everybody starts going to school and all that stuff and you end up babysitting kids, you catch everything. But moving on from that, I'm going to try to get through this pretty well straightforward. This will be an update on what's going on with my court case that's coming up in October, or at least the arraignment. And also, I'm first going to go over real fast what happened 2 days after my arrest involving a reporter with the Frontiersman. So to start things off with the Frontiersman incident, a reporter with the Frontiersman was taking pictures of a crime scene in the Willow, Alaska area. And when he left, one of the troopers pulled him over and confiscated his memory card of the pictures from the crime scene, saying they needed that as evidence with no warrant or anything. So that is strictly a violation of Fourth Amendment right there. I'll have 4 articles going up, as you can see. There is also a video from K2U. They do have the ACLU chime in at the end of that video, so I do recommend watching that video at least if you want to learn a little bit more. All these will be in the description box. Alright, now an update on my case. Now, it currently has been reviewed for moving forward with charges. I have talked with the prosecutor that is in charge of my case this week, and he just recently got back from vacation. I will hopefully have more information in the next week or so about that. They have until about 10 days before arraignment to actually review my case. So I will be the 28th, roughly, is the earliest, well, the latest I'll find out if they're going to move forward with the charges or not for my case on the trespass. Also, I have talked with the not state troopers, the Anchorage PD, public information officers, trying to get more information about what's going on with the expanded stuff. I didn't get all the questions I wanted asked and answered and all that stuff. It became more or less a ring around the rosy. I do plan on talking to them once more, but I'll have that phone call at the end of this video here. That way you can listen in on that and judge for yourself on what you think about it. And the last thing is currently 2 of my cameras are still, and my cell phone are still in hold for evidence with the Anchorage Police Department. I'm still trying to figure out how to get that out. I've tried establishing contact with the arresting officer and his supervisor, but I have not received any calls back with me leaving messages on their voicemail boxes that they have set up for their work. So I'm not sure what's going to go on with that part. I will go ahead and actually supply those phone numbers for you in the description below. So this way, if you want to call them and try to get some questions answered about why they're holding on to those things. Oh, and the kicker is, for my camcorder, they issued back all the hookups for that. The power cord, the USB cable, and then, well, the USB cable was standard default mini or micro USB, but the power connection is proprietary, as in you can only use that kind of a power connection with that, a specific type of power connector with that camera. And also they handed me back both batteries. They might as well just handed me the camera back if they're going to do that and just kept the SD card. But I have no idea why they're just holding on to the camera and the SD card. Most likely to deprive me of the camera equipment. And also with the GoPro that they did confiscate, that didn't have, well, it wasn't recording in the first place. It was actually off in my pocket. So they're holding on to that for like no reason. I'm not sure if the person that checked it in for evidence really looked at it, or they're going to look at it and then maybe say, hey, we're going to hand it back. And the last thing is the cell phone. I informed the arresting officer that the phone itself did not keep the video recorded. It was all uploaded, live streamed to the internet. As obviously you guys have seen that video footage, or most of that video footage on my last video about breaking down what led up to my arrest. So at least we have some footage, and it's sort of a moot point for them to hold on to that cell phone since it did not store the video footage. I'm not sure exactly what they're planning on doing with the cell phone itself. As I said, I haven't been able to establish contact with the arresting officer or his supervisor about that part. I'm probably going to have to go even further up the chain or talk with the public information officer about how they deal with evidence and all that stuff to see about getting that stuff back. But as is I'll leave the names of the arresting officer and his supervisor along with their phone numbers in the description box if you guys want to go ahead and give them a call and leave a message on that issue. So that pretty much wraps up everything. I'm still trying to recover from this cold, so I'm not really moving around so much at the moment. Hopefully I feel a little bit better, and I plan on doing a breakdown video on the legal issues around the, my perspective on the legal issues around the my arrest and all that stuff a little bit later this week. Also, I do have some dash cam stuff and some drone footage of the state fair and stuff that some of you might be interested in. I'm going to throw it up there just for fun. The drone footage is actually from within a 5-mile limit of the airport, and I believe I still have that voicemail from the airport letting me know about TFRs. I plan on sort of going over a little bit more on that. I'm still also trying to get back to working on the part 2 of droning in national parks up here in Alaska. Unfortunately, I lost a little bit of data because I have some issues with one of my hard drives cutting in and out, so trying to balance all this stuff that's going on at the same time.
Public Affairs, this is Anita.
Yes, I was calling to get some information about the presidential security stuff that happened last week.
What kind of information are you looking for?
I was wondering who gave the order to extend the no pedestrian zones to the 2 blocks south that bordered the Denina Center and the park strip there.
The Anchorage Police Department SWAT unit was on the detail, and that was part of
their call?
Staging area, yeah.
Okay, so it was part of their staging area, but how come there was no press release stating that area was now no pedestrian zone?
Why was there no press release? We don't put out press releases on everything.
Well, it seems to me it would have been a thing because it wasn't properly marked off in the first place.
Were you arrested based on this?
I'm calling, yes, I was, and I'm calling about trying to get more information about what was the reasoning behind all this and why there wasn't their proper markings.
You would probably want to contact the lieutenant that's over the SWAT unit.
Okay, and can I get his name?
But your case has most likely been turned over to the prosecutor's office, the municipal prosecutor's office.
Yes.
But the
As I said, I'm just trying to get more information so I have better understanding about the entire situation. So
it's a private parking lot. It was a private parking lot.
Yes, I understand that part. As I said, I'm trying to confirm because the no pedestrian zone that was extended, it was over not just a private parking lot, but it was also on a completely different block than that parking lot.
The no pedestrian zone was marked off on the corners of 8th and G, and you were directed on where you could be publicly on the sidewalks there. The officers instructed you where you could be. That inner parking lot, though, in which the sidewalks cross through, though, is a private parking lot. So media has the right to be anywhere the public has the right to be, but in that setting it's a private parking lot, and that was used as a secured staging area for law enforcement, which is the premises in which you entered.
Well, the thing is there was no marking off to make it properly secure in the first place.
Actually, I think maybe if you're a little bit unfamiliar with perimeters, we don't have to mark something off with tape or signs necessarily. We had officer vehicles parked there. We had our mobile command unit, and officers also gave you verbal instructions to let you know that it was not an open. It's a private area, and you were instructed to be on the sidewalks that were open and available to pedestrian traffic. The press release that was sent out was for commuter people, so people who are walking through the area or people who are driving through the area. That information was sent out. However, it was also noted in the release that these boundaries, these areas could possibly change at any given time, given the circumstances and the facts that it's a mobile security detail. So we tried to do our best to explain to the public for sure what closures we knew ahead of time were going to be made. But again, there are certain things that we don't always know for planning purposes, but we did want to give motorists and pedestrians an idea of what areas to avoid and what areas they could freely travel through. And my understanding is that all of this was explained to you at the scene.
Okay, well, the other question is how come then the alleyway between, what was it, G Street and F Street there, that's also between 8th and 9th there, wasn't marked off yet? I was trespassed from that entire general area kind of thing, even though that alleyway was not marked, and yet there was people going in and out of that alleyway.
I don't believe the alleyway was closed off. I don't believe you were trespassed from the alleyway. What you were trespassed
I was prior to that, they stated I was trespassed out of that alleyway, yet there was many people that were going in and out of that. And that's pretty much where this all stems from, is I'm trying to figure out how come a person with a camera was pushed out of that alleyway, yet there's many people that were going in and out in the first place. You still there? Ah, fucking hell.
Is there anything we can help you with, sir?
Sorry, some reason my phone connection lost its ability to talk with you. You still there?
Yes, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Sorry, where did I get cut off at?
I'm not sure. You haven't spoken in about 25 seconds. But if you have any more requests for information, I will direct you over to the prosecutor's office, as they're the ones that are handling your case.
Okay. Can I get the name of the prosecutor and the phone number?
The office number is 343-4250.
Okay, 343. What was the last four?
4250.
4250. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.